Right, focus group. So you do all your research. Okay, we're eventually leading up. The end of this section is going to be we produce a specification for the game you're going to make. Okay, remember you're doing a prototype, so we're not expecting full games, but we expect to see some playability in what you produce. Alright, now one of the important things is that you're not just designing this for you, you're designing and building this for a target audience. Now the target audience is going to be people like yourselves. And in the real world, what you would do is you would talk to like the people that you're aiming it at and get their feedback as to what they want from this type of game. So we're going to do that, but in practicalities, for practicality's sake, you're going to use each other as focus groups. So what I'll need you to do is get in groups of 3s, 4s, no more because it gets too big. Alright, and you're just going to talk about your game ideas. So you need to do the research first because that's where some of your initial ideas are coming from. Okay, but the idea is to get some info from other people, things you might not have thought of. Okay, some things that you may be thinking of doing that people go, I don't see how that's going to work, and you can try and argue it with them. And what you're going to produce is a series of minutes. Now the reason we do it as minutes is because they're just a record of what sort of things were said. They're not a transcript. Okay, we don't want transcripts. Now, you're going to sit round in a table and you're going to talk about your user interface ideas that you've got. You're going to talk about your graphics that you're going to have. Okay, whether there's going to be some style to it or what sort of graphics it ought to have. Okay, you're going to talk about your player character. So that's why I got you in your research to talk about how do you control the players and stuff. So what is it about your player character, what is the player going to do, and your mechanics of your game, where you have to cover everything else, where you say, oh well, there's going to be a level of baddies are going to run at you, whatever it is. Depends what game it is. Okay, if it's a car game, it's going to be, yeah, there's going to be a load of other cars driving around on rails that we got that are just used for like timing, something to aim at, sort of thing. Whatever it is. But obviously, when you do this, you're going to like, maybe there's 4 of you, take it one at a turn, offer up your ideas, listen to what other people have got to say. We don't want people saying, oh that's crap, that's no good. You can say that if you've got a suggestion. To say, right, well that's not a very good idea, but maybe you could do it this way or that way. I had one group in the other class started doing this, and they had like a page of ideas, so it's good. Alright, it was a good process, and it made people think, oh, I hadn't really thought about that. So it gives you lots of stuff that you're going to target. The hardest thing about writing a game isn't the mechanical aspects of programming it. That's just hard, and you can learn to do that. It is having the thing in front of you that you know what you want to try and do. If you don't know what you want to try and do, very difficult to program that. But if you've got a clear idea, like with Tom, he's going to have a go at like a light gunny type game. He knows he's going to have some sort of characters coming in, hiding behind things, popping up. So he knows he's got to build these elements. But if he didn't have a clear idea about what he wanted to do, where would he start? So that's what this is all about. Okay? But it's clear then that you have talked to other people and your ideas are not just your ideas. It's a group mentality. Right, which hopefully means in reality you will produce a better product. Okay. Now when you do this, you're going to do minutes. There is a template on the intranet that you can follow. You'll use this when you do Unit 9, your project management unit as well, because you'll have to take minutes of meetings that you have. You have a meeting every week with your group to say how's the progress going. But for this, I expect to see 2 sets of minutes minimum. So what I've said to the other class is it might be that the graphics and the user interface you discuss in one meeting when you write up the minutes. You're going to discuss it all in one go, but you're going to write it up separately. Okay, so you might have 2 headings in your minutes, one saying, right, discussion of user interface, these are the things that were said, these are the ideas to take forward. Graphic style, this is what I was talking about. And then put these 2 together, because they do sort of go together. Okay? So a set of minutes on those, set of minutes on those. That will then lead us into the last two aspects of this section of the project work that we're doing, which is to produce the specification. Okay? Which leads on to deciding whether we've met the brief we've been set, which is the last bit of the specification. Then we can go on to design. Okay? But we need to do this because you can't start programming, and I want us to start programming next week. Okay? You're going to do your design and you're going to learn the skills at the same time. Alright? What I promise you is you're not going to have all the problems that you've had with Flash. Because you're using my engine, which I know back from because I wrote it, okay, and continue to work on it, it is going to work. And you will be able to produce some awesome stuff. If you want to, the second year computing have been working on this for a couple of weeks now, because a load of them are doing games. And you might have seen some of them. Some of them have got stuff working already. They've got mazes that they're walking around and stuff like that. So, and they've only been going for a couple of weeks.
How long do we actually write the game for?
I'll be back until February. So you've got, really I would like you to get the bulk of it done before Christmas. Okay. But obviously we need to get a wriggle on. To be fair, you've only had one lesson this week, so this is your first lesson this week, so you know we've had a little bit of time on this. We only started Friday, didn't we? But Thursday we need to all be moving on to this so that we can try and get these finished this week, so that you have got what you want to pursue for your project. Okay. Right, I'll whip that on YouTube because you're not ready for it yet, but you can review it back again. Okay.